Hi
everyone. Today I wanted to take some time to answer some questions or just discuss some things that people have proposed, just dropping a line to me on the Patreon site. I'm talking to you today from my porch. You might hear some cars and trucks, buses, and maybe a few birds if they're brave enough to come to the bird feeder while I'm out here. So one thing that someone had suggested is they would love to know what was going on with the Drunken Sailor that I played a few years ago on that album called Lost in the Loop. And what a great tune the Drunken Sailor is. And I shouldn't assume that everybody knows this tune, but let me just talk about variations within it. And let me play a little bit of the first part just to let you know which tune I'm talking about. So it's this great one. Second part. And there is a sixth part that's attributed to the great Tommy Potts. And that part went kind of like this. Let me see if I can remember this. So it's a fabulous tune altogether. And because I knew it when I recorded it, and I had known it such a long time, it's the kind of tune that I was very, very, very familiar. My hands were just really comfortable playing this tune. And since I do like to put in variations, especially when I record, I just kind of start to think about, well, is it nice to have a little something different happen here and there? And what would I really want to do with this tune? Because you know there's hundreds and hundreds of tunes, and it's not every one that we sit down with and really, really go for it and see what's there. So a lot of the tunes you're just doing variations in sessions, as I've said before. So it was great fun to take this tune and I know this about the kinds of variations that I like, as that often they're almost a built-in answer to something that's been thrown out. So as an example, how about I take the second part of the Drunken Sailor, and I'll show you one variation that I ended up putting in and maybe be able to explain why. So the second part is this part. And it comes here. So I think it's just a parallel move. And a lot of times for a variation, I might just grab something that's happening and then just put it in a different spot. And so there's really like an answer instead of where the tune had just repeated it, gave a little answer. So let me just get up to there again. So instead of going, it's enough of a pattern of da 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 dun da dun 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 da 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 dun 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 da that I almost could have continued finding little spots, little reactions to that spot. Okay, that wasn't great playing, but do you see that what's happening there is kind of interesting? I can almost find those little spots in tunes, even the beginning. Sometimes it leaves you where you'd almost have to come up with a different ending to the tune as well. And I think I did a fair amount of that in exploring this tune. So when I throw out, it could follow with, and I mean, I could really back it off that I respond to something much shorter. I could just respond to this. And of course you can step out entirely and just put something else. You can work with octaves. You know? Hopefully that's interesting to folks. I invite you to go ahead and, I know it's on Spotify for sure, on Lost in the Loop, and it's the Drunken Sailor. And yeah, I had a great time figuring out lots of variations in there. So write me if there's any particular one you'd like. But here's what I'm going to invite you to do. So there's a great old tune called The Harvest Home. Only a friend of mine was saying recently he absolutely hates the tune. And I went, oh, for gosh sakes, why would you hate The Harvest Home? So it took me on a little journey of looking on YouTube, and I found Michael Russell, the great tin whistle player, playing The Harvest Home. I found Johnny Doherty playing The Harvest Home. And I also found Fergal Scahill playing The Harvest Home. And so I'm going to invite you, in case you absolutely also just don't like that tune. I don't know how many people are out there that don't like that tune. The other tune I was thinking of was the Derry Hornpipe. And again, I think it's just, if you slow things down for yourself, so think of yourself really as a composing or varying a tune that you know well. And I'm going to play The Harvest Home for you, and then I'll play the Derry Hornpipe for you. So this is your assignment. The Harvest Home is... now I have to think about how the Derry Hornpipe goes. Yes, I'll be back. So gang, what I'm going to suggest is the two first parts of the Derry Hornpipe. So that tune, just very simply, I'm not playing this up or anything, I'm just going ahead and playing what I know as the notes of the tune. So it goes. And there are a couple more parts to this tune as well, which I invite you to explore. Definitely the site that's called thesession.org. Thesession.org has the Derry Hornpipe. And you can look around probably online for people playing different notes to this tune. But maybe what I'll say to you is to just don't look around and just think about this tune. And again, if you throw out a phrase, this tune didn't need to go, but the composer saw that that was the route. And so what I'm inviting you to do is to check out some other routes to that tune. I also had some other questions and that I rather enjoyed. Well, one person was asking actually for a tune, so let me also play a tune of mine once again, and I'll attach the notes to it. There was a request for Wild Pitch, and since this is baseball season here in America, and we're really enjoying the playoffs, except my poor White Sox. So Wild Pitch is the name of this tune, and it's off an album called In Play with John Doyle. And you can see I like sports. The album was called In Play. The next album was called Double Play, and this tune was called Wild Pitch. And so here it is. again, that's called Wild Pitch, and it's played quite fast on the album, but I think it had a nice groove to it, which is why it just kind of fell into a little bit faster. I always thought that I was going to put this little variation into it. Real old rock and roll there. Lordy, we never did do it. But yeah, I enjoyed the tune, so hopefully you will too. So today, again, I was talking about the Drunken Sailor and just how you can just pull a little phrase and do an answer to a phrase. Again, if I'm writing down what I'm thinking and what I'm doing, I might do the phrase, and then I might do an answer to it and another answer to that. But then when I look back at it, or when I listen back to it, I might decide, well, it's better if I don't even do the in-between answer, and that it's better if I skip over to this. So it can get very involved, and you know, it's such an interesting thing that most of us musicians that are like teaching at camps and all, we don't know what everybody's thinking. We're kind of hanging out with our own classes, but every once in a while when we get to hear them talk, it's amazing how actually people are really thinking and working hard to make something beautiful. Okay, so I invite you, make something beautiful out of the Harvest Home or the Derry Hornpipe, and there's a new tune for you. We'll see you next time.